gonna.
I can see your name, Dad. I can see your name.
Ah! You're gonna fall.
It did this.
Did it?
Yeah.
Put your arms out. Ah, you're gonna fall. So this week I'll be documenting my life as a lockdown musician, and I'm going to be doing a few things this week. Moving house is one of them, and also I'm going to be preparing for a live stream on Friday night. I haven't played live for over a month through choice, and I'm going to be doing it again on Friday, so I've got to get myself back in the room for that, after having a bit of time out. The most time I've ever had off without performing live, I think, since I started. So I need to get myself back for that, and that's my challenge this week. So I'm a musician. I live very much hand to mouth on my live work. I do play out live 3, 4, 5, sometimes more times a week. I play with 2 bands, two festival bands, and so my summer was fully booked. And I do a lot of stuff on my own as well, just solo acoustic. So that's kind of how I manage to play so many times a week, and it's a big part of who I am, and it keeps me fit, and it gives me the social connection that I need, and it pays my rent, and it keeps my food on the table for my fam, and does a lot of stuff for my own identity as well, and keeps me sane. I think keeping moving, keeping making music, and keeping singing my own songs, it does really clear out the decks for me, and keeps my mind clear, because I do get quite bogged down if I'm not careful. So going from doing that and having a whole summer fully booked, to suddenly having nothing in the diary at all, and the concept of staying indoors just as the weather starts to brighten up, it did my head in. It kind of felt like I felt like falling off a treadmill at speed, which, being a clumsy bugger, I've done that physically before now. It was the kind of mental equivalent of that. It's been another painfully predictable week in my house. Yeah, I found it very hard to go from 60 to 0. So the first few weeks of lockdown was very much about I think trying to move down through the gears, and trying to keep myself busy and tie up my loose ends, and try to keep productive. I think that was really important for me to do that. I did a couple of live streams, like 1 a week for 3 weeks, and I think it was a very mixed bag for me. I think it was good to have that that connection with people. It was really exciting, actually, to have people knowing that they were out there, and I was sort of in my space and they were in theirs, and I was beaming into so many different living rooms. It was a nice thing to have, and it did a lot of good for me. Well, this is the way, When I go out and I play live, one of the big differences for me is that I soak up the atmosphere, and I soak up the people, and I have a beer, and I move around, and I laugh, and I joke, and I get myself physically warmed up, and I feel really musical when I go to play. And I think it was very hard to get myself in that place when I was just at home. Just didn't seem to be any way of getting myself where I normally am, so I didn't feel the same way I do when I play live. And for me as a musician, it was a big challenge. I just need to get out. I need to get out. I need to go run riot. I've got a little boy called Sonny. He's a cheeky little chap, and he's an absolute joy to be around, and he's the love of my life beyond anything else. And I love being his dad, and I love the adventures and the way he makes me feel, and the things he brings out of me. I love him very much. And I'm very lucky that I get so much time with him. I thought initially, when I first found out I was going to be in lockdown and having no school or nursery, I mean, trust me, when it comes to half term, and I know that I've got 2 weeks without any of that going on, I do really struggle. I think trying to continually sustain my business and do all the things that I normally do in a week. I have busy weeks, you know, and then have the added childcare as well, and try to include him in the things I do. I find that really testing, and I think I was taking that mindset into this lockdown, like, how am I going to possibly do all the things I need to do whilst having him full time for the foreseeable future? How am I going to do it? That was actually a bit of a head, you know, that was a head. Truth be told, it's been nothing like that really. I think having him around and having him doing his thing while I'm doing mine has just been loads more easy than I thought it would be. And it's been beautiful too. It's been beautiful to be around someone who's got nothing but joy for the world and curiosity and positivity and just wants to play. And it's very good for my head to have someone like that around. And he's been a little complete winner from the start of this. Yeah. Tell me what you were just laughing at. What are you laughing at?
A bum bum. A bum bum there.
What am I raising here, honestly? So mornings for me are like just hang out with Sonny, make some brekkie, do some exercise, have some fun, play some games, make a den, just be silly. That's a lush way to start your day. It really is. It's not really happening for this chapati. It's not very happy. It's kind of flat. It's going to be quite dry and chewy. That's going to be one of Sonny's. Yes, it is. And not being in a rush to get up either. Like we have lions. You know, I say lions. He's up at the crack of dawn every day like a bloody milkman. But we do lie around in the house and we just laze around, and it's just a really beautiful start. You know, it used to be that I was getting up and chasing him around the house trying to get him ready for school. Nowadays, don't need to do that. Just laze around, man. Just do, you know, take your time. It must be good for him to have that with me rather than me constantly trying to force him into his clothes and throw some breakfast down him. It's nice, makes a nice change. Sonny, can you come here now, please? Can you come here now? And don't walk off again. Come on, come here. Sonny, can you come here now, please? Too cute, that's the problem. Cheeky, but just too cute. Sonny, don't run off, please, like that. It scares me. Sonny, get back here. And then, in the afternoon, I tend to get a bit of free time then. And then it's up to me what I do with that. I tend to try to make some music. That's what I do. I find the quietest place in the house I can, and I plug in and I try my best to record, and I really go for it. One thing that I found completely crucial to do during lockdown is make sure I exercise every day. I mean, before lockdown, I used to go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, and I do a lot. And my job itself, just playing live, it's an hour and a half normally of like singing your heart out, and with the bands, I'm definitely throwing myself around a lot and getting on a sweat. So to not do that all of a sudden is not advisable. You need to keep your heart ticking, or everything I suddenly find myself becoming very stagnant, and I can't be dealing with that. It's not good for my head. So every day I'm out and about on the bike, riding around. Take Sonny out on the back of the bike too, and you know, we go out and get some sunshine, go for long walks, and I find myself carrying him around on those walks most of the time because he starts to whinge about his legs, as kids do. Doing loads of yoga in the garden, and also trying to make the best use of Sonny, because you know, when you're in lockdown and you've got a perfectly good weight of a 4-year-old boy. Now what's he weigh? He must weigh about 20 kilograms, something like that. I don't know what that is, but That's how much it feels like. You know, I just like picking him up, throwing him around. He really loves it. And I do that every other day kind of thing. Just throw him around a bit. And he just loves that. And it makes him laugh and it keeps me fit and strong.
Oh, you're surprisingly heavy.
We've got to move out of here today. It's a bit of a shame because I've been living for the last 3 weeks in this this beautiful garden, well, in this beautiful house. I'm not very good at this camera. Let's start again. So this is the house I've been living in for 3 weeks. It's big, 3-storey, 3-bedroom, perfect for us three. Got a big garden. It's my yoga space. That's where I drink beer over there. And this is Sonny, and this is where he plays. Isn't that Wendy house? That's where he puts his pants on. Hi, mate.
My clothes on, leave me alone.
Alright. Yeah, we've got to move out of here today. Got to move back to my little flat. The time has come to move back, so a bit gutted about that, really. Trying to be like philosophical about it and think that some people don't even have a roof over their head. So that's the main thing to think about today. But
Sugar plums.
and sugar plums, of course, which, you know, very important. Yeah, moving day.
Beep, beep, beep.
It's not annoying at all. So, we just got back from a long day of moving stuff in the heat, and it's just been a bit full on. And now we're back in our little flat again, and to be honest, it feels a little bit claustrophobic for me, for my liking, and I just feel like I've had enough for one day. So, I'm going to put this boy to bed and
No, not
drink some
that.
whiskey.
Don't put me to bed. Don't put me to bed. Don't put me to bed.
He's going to bed.
No.
It's now Friday, it's 2:15. I'm going live in less than 3 hours. I've just tried to sing some songs for the first time in quite a while, and I am sounding like Frank Butcher. I really need to sort my voice out. I'm used to singing these songs like stood up on a stage with the wind in my sails and feeling really free and open, and I'm not feeling that way at all today, so I really need to do something about that. I found the best thing I can do is get on my bike and put some old school tunes on my headphones and sing my heart out in the wastelands where no one can hear me scream. And I'm hoping that in an hour's time I'm going to come back sweaty, feeling the buzz and with a very open vocal range. And if not, I'm going to sound like Frank Butcher live to the world. Wish me luck.